The Twitter files continue to expose the inner workings of the deep state and big tech collusion, but the latest dump may be the most explosive of them all. We're going to take a look at the latest from New York Times reporter Bari Weiss and what she's exposed. We're going to see the pernicious forces that were operative at Twitter before Elon Musk's takeover. And make sure to stick with me to the very end of this video when I'll reveal why this latest chapter of the Twitter files may be the biggest one yet. You're not going to want to miss this. On the morning of January 8th, 2021, 2 days after J6, President Trump tweeted out the following. The 75 million great American patriots who voted for me, America first, and make America great again, will have a giant voice long into the future. They will not be disrespected or treated unfairly in any way, shape, or form. About an hour later, at 7:44 a.m., Trump tweeted this quote, "To all of those who have asked, I will not be going to the inauguration on January 20th. That's how the day began at the White House. But the day started very differently over at Twitter, as the internal communications now made available through the Twitter files make clear. A number of employees at Twitter wanted to use J6 as a pretext for the banning of the President of the United States from their platform. Now, as Bari Weiss noted, this was radical and unprecedented. Twitter has a long history of defending the platform as an important public forum for citizens to be informed on precisely what their leaders believe and advocate. That, of course, means that the Ayatollah of Iran has a platform on Twitter, the president of Venezuela has a platform, the president of the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan has a platform, and on and on and on. But J6 clearly became a pretext, a justification for taking the unprecedented step of banning a sitting president, and in this case, none other than the President of the United States. The discussions and intentions of which were well documented in the previous Twitter files dump via Matt Taibbi. There was dissent. For example, this Twitter employee had a very interesting perspective. Quote, "Maybe because I'm from China, I deeply understand how censorship can destroy the public conversation. Maybe because I'm from China." What a prelude. What a qualification. Hey, guys, not to rain in on your parade, but, this kind of stuff, that you're talking about there, well, it all kind of sounds like, a totalitarian dictatorship sounds like. Have you ever considered this? The response that this person got was extremely telling. Quote, "I understand this fear, right? I'm a good cosmopolitan liberal. I understand you. I appreciate you. But I also think it's important to understand. In other words, here's what you, the person from China, don't get because you didn't grow up as a privileged liberal like I did. It's important to understand that censorship by a government is very different than censorship of a government. The First Amendment of the United States," and now this person is a constitutional scholar, "the First Amendment of the United States exists specifically to prevent the government from silencing the people." Yeah, I guess so. You mean like the FBI working with Twitter to silence the Hunter Biden laptop bombshell? You mean something like that? You mean like Katie Hobbs using her office as Secretary of State of Arizona to censor tweets she doesn't like, and of course Twitter dutifully complying with that? You mean, these people are literally drowning in such an odious stench of hypocritical false virtue. Well, whoever that person was, Bari Weiss's revelations demonstrate that that person was clearly in the majority, what sounds like a supermajority, all of whom were hell-bent on banning President Trump from Twitter. And of course, they were aided and abetted by their fellow left-wing activists disguised as journalists over at the Washington Post. In the early afternoon of January 8th, the Post published an open letter signed by over 300 Twitter employees to CEO Jack Dorsey demanding that Trump be banned from the platform, saying, quote, "We must examine Twitter's complicity in what President-elect Biden, our savior, has rightly termed an insurrection." Who are these people to judge what is and what is not an insurrection? Again, keep in mind, these are the same people. Correct me if I'm wrong, but are these not the same people who have a hard time defining words like woman and recession? But suddenly now they're infallible experts on what does or does not constitute an insurrection? But this is where it all just begins. Wait till you hear what they were saying back inside Twitter. It's going to astonish you. But first, click on that link below and protect yourself from all of this economic insanity with the timeless value of gold and silver. Gang, you know patriots over the centuries have always relied on gold and silver to protect their assets during economic storms. And that is where the amazing patriots over at Goldco come in. If you have $50,000 or more in an IRA, 401k savings account, you need to protect those assets from bumbling Biden's insanity. With the timeless value of gold and silver, click on that link below and talk to our good friends over at Goldco. They're patriots just like us, and they want you to succeed so much. They're offering you up to $10,000 in free silver if you open up an account with them. But this is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or visit my special website, turleytalkslikesgold.com. Twitter's staff assigned to evaluate President Trump's tweets were quick to push back against this woke mob mentality, pointing out that Trump had not in any way violated Twitter's terms of service. After numerous discussions and consultations as to whether Trump was inciting violence, the decision made by the staff was a hard no on flagging Trump's 7:44 a.m. tweet as a violation of their TOS, saying, quote, "It's a clear no violation." Needless to say, that did not satisfy the woke mob. And what we have to understand here, and Barry Weiss does a great job of doing this for us, this conversation is actually happening inside Twitter, all the while controversial tweets from other world leaders were still up on Twitter. So, for example, in June of 2018, Iran's Ayatollah Ali Khamenei tweeted out, quote, "Israel is a malignant cancerous tumor in the West Asian region that has to be removed and eradicated. It is possible and it will happen." Twitter neither deleted that tweet or banned the Ayatollah. This is a major world leader calling for the annihilation of an entire nation. No comparable outrage among Twitter employees. In October 2020, Malaysian Prime Minister said it was, quote, "a right for Muslims to, quote, kill millions of French people." Now, Twitter did delete his tweet for glorifying violence, but he remains on the platform. And Barry Weiss gives example after example after example after example of world leaders saying inflammatory things on Twitter, and either those tweets are still up there or they've been removed, but the leaders they remain on the platform. So a double standard doesn't even begin to describe the situation. Less than 90 minutes after Twitter's staff decided that the tweet did not violate any rules, Twitter's head of legal policy and trust, Vijaya Gadde, asked if the president's tweet could be, quote, "coded incitement to further violence." Just minutes later, employees suggested that the president's original tweet may have violated Twitter's glorification of violence policy if, and this is key, if you interpret his phrase, "American patriots," to refer to the rioters. The fact that the phrase was prefaced with the number 75 million didn't seem to catch their attention. And things started to unravel from there. They escalated out of control. You had Twitter employees viewing Trump as the leader of a terrorist group. They said he was comparable to Hitler, yada, yada, yada. And about an hour later, the mob won out. Twitter announced President Trump's permanent suspension due to, quote, "the risk of further incitement of violence." Now, why I think in many respects this was the most explosive, eye-opening Twitter files dump of them all is because it shows explicitly how woke neo-Marxism is inherently an excommunicative religion. It's a sacred ideology that has fundamental tenets. And if you violate those tenets, notice not terms of service, no. If you not if you violate the terms of service, but the ideological tenets, you will be silenced. You will be canceled, excommunicated. And the fact that they can do this to a sitting president without the slightest repercussion demonstrates that this vile, woke neo-Marxism has taken over the major levers of cultural power in our nation. It's astonishing stuff. But ironically, the fact that it's all being revealed for all the world to see is testimony that their cultural power is waning. The days of the woke neo-Marxists are indeed coming to an end. The woke cancel culture neo-Marxists are inevitably going to be themselves canceled. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You will definitely want to check out my latest video on Liz Cheney getting exposed as a total fraud with the latest J6 committee leaks. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.